Welcome to sportsreview.com. Natalie Rice from here. We're previewing Week 5 Premier League. This video is powered by Pinnacle, and I have got regular guests returning with us. JJ is a winner, is his Twitter handle, if you guys want to stalk him and tell him your thoughts, not mine. And then and we've got Nigel, Seeley_Nigel there, if you want to add him on Twitter as well. Guys, thanks for welcoming to the show.
Fired up. Welcome, Nigel.
Welcome. Tough week. Got to be doing better than last week. That's why I lost my voice from that shouting.
Yeah, well, let's quickly talk about that actually before we move on. Nigel, unfortunately, you had the best first week that you joined us. Then you came on the second week and pretty much crashed from there, I'm afraid. You got one out of 6. So upwards from there, which is a good thing. You can only go up from there unless you want to go for the full Monty and go for 0 out of 6. JJ is a winner. You brought yourself back up, didn't you?
I did indeed.
You were down at 1 profit. You're now at 5.6.
Yeah. 4
out of 9.
Well,
but the 4 you got were like big winners.
Well, I'm very humble in victory and in defeat.
You're a god. We're not going to hear the end of it now, are we?
Show me a good loser and I'll still show you a loser. But let's get it turned around for you, Nigel. The good thing is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 winners this weekend, and I'm determined to go 6 out of 6.
All right. Well, wow. I went 4 out of 6.
Did you? Yeah, but you're on the Captain Obvious days though now.
Yeah, but it's still, I've got a profit of 14.
No value. Well, you are doing better than that. Stop showing off. No one likes to show off, Natalie.
Well, you know. Credit where credit's due.
Absolutely. Well done.
All right, kicking off. Chelsea versus Liverpool. What a cracker to start the weekend. Yeah. Love this match. Have to say, though, a bit nervous about the outright. Chelsea 2.3, Liverpool 3.3, draw 3.6, all with Pinnacle. Nigel, we're going to start with you. Have you got a lean in this match?
Yeah, mine leans towards goals. I think there's goals in this game. I think both sides, there's no love lost between the two sides. It's a Friday night game as well, so I think they'll be under the lights. I think the on the side of the pitch when you're watching the two managers, I think they'll be going through the emotions. I think they'll be kicking every ball, getting the crowd behind them. And if you look at the trends in this game, I know JJ will turn around and say the trends aren't your friend, but both teams have scored in pretty much every single Chelsea game this season. Both teams have scored in Liverpool games, and this game has a history of goals, and usually a lot more Liverpool goals, to be fair. Liverpool have got a great record here. They've only lost 3 in the last 10 matches at Chelsea. So I think goals is a safe bet. It's a Captain Obvious play. The less so obvious one, I'm sort of slightly slanting towards Liverpool because they are inconsistent. I'd rather take them on when they're underdogs in a game like this than when they're 1.3 or 1.4 at home to a Sunderland or something like that. That's where they sort of slip up. But I'm going to go Captain Obvious, pick one. Both teams to score.
Both teams to score, right. Best odds I found, they're 1.62. What are you going for?
I do actually agree with Nigel there as well. And he said he had a slight lean there with Liverpool. And I'm actually going to take Liverpool. I think that they can beat anyone on their day. You know what I mean, Natalie? I think they can. I think there's a lot of goals in that team. They're a very emotional team led by an emotional manager. So I do agree with the analysis there. They're going to be kicking things on the sidelines. But I believe that Liverpool can go to Chelsea and they can get a win. Mm-hmm.
You got us there 3.1. Pinnacle have got 3.3.
Yeah, I'm on.
Do your homework.
3
Shop around for the best bookie.
Yeah, 3.1 there with Paddy Power I got there.
All right. I'm actually going to go, I think there's going to be goals in this match as well. They are the second highest goal scorers, 9 goals in total. These two teams have scored. I'm giving Chelsea the slight benefit here. I'm playing Chelsea's total goals going over 1.5, so 2 or more. 2 with William Hill. That's my bet. I also like both teams to score. It's a little low for my liking, 1.6.
Whatever happened just to the win, draw, or loss?
I like it. He was getting like a little bit more value, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. Well, I like it. Very sophisticated. So absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Next one. West Brom versus West Ham. West Ham let me down, which you guys warned me about last week. West Brom are the favourites, 2.8. West Ham, 2.85. Is very, very close indeed. Both teams are faring poorly. I'm just wondering if this is pointing to a draw. What do you think? We'll start with you.
We'll start with Nigel on this one, because I'm actually passing on a game. If I had to have a lean, I would say a draw.
I think, yeah. Go on, Nigel.
Well, I'm actually passing on the game as well. I think it's a game that doesn't really do anything for me. I think we've spoken all the way through this season about West Ham, how strong they are, how poor they are at home. And I think that's going to be a big problem. So really, if you look at their away games, I'll probably turn around and say they've got a good chance. You've got to remember, this is a toxic atmosphere at the Hawthorns. They want the manager out. The fans are booing the side every time they take to the pitch. And their home form has been absolutely dreadful. They got beat by Everton 2-1. They drew 0-0 with Middlesbrough. They haven't won a game. So really, I wouldn't look too much into West Ham's form. I think they're a better side away from home. Their best performance this season was arguably at Chelsea. At home, we know about the problems they have in the new stadium. So if pushed slightly towards West Ham, but I think there's negatives for both sides. I think both teams will be delighted with the draw, and probably JJ's right, go for the draw.
Yeah, I was actually looking even like both teams to score like a 1-1 draw. What do you think about that? Should I play or pass it?
I don't know, Natalie, to be honest. I've not really looked into the game. It's just a game I think it's all things aside now, I think this is a very, very difficult week. Like last week, I was really fired up and I was like thinking, bookies as a layer's going to really clean up. Looking at this weekend, it could be a weekend for Captain Obvious. And
so that means I'm going to triumph then, eh?
Well, maybe you will, but the figures don't lie. You're doing great. But no, I've not really got much of an opinion.
Just one thing on the goal market. In the last 8 games between these two sides, there's been 24 goals. So they're averaging 3 goals per game. So they might look on paper as a team that you want to get involved in, but there's usually history of goals in this game. West Ham won this fixture 3-0 last season. Yeah. There's also been a 3-3 draw between the two sides in the Premier League. So I think West Ham will be a team that you want to back away from home and oppose at home. And I think if you keep that strategy for the first dozen games of this season, I don't think you'll go too far wrong. But really, I think it's a very difficult game to call.
All right, sound advice, Nigel. Right, moving on. Everton versus Middlesbrough. Everton 1.67. I think Everton are looking really strong at the moment. I think at home, they 3 back-to-back wins, no losses, home advantage. Everton -1. Not actually got the odds for that one, but I thought squeeze a little bit of extra value there with the Everton win, which I also like 1.67. Nigel?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Everton. I've said all the way through this season, I think they're a side that could sort of gate crash the top 6 in the Premier League. I think Koeman's a fantastic manager. We saw how good he was in a 10-minute spell. Lukaku's firing goals, scored a hat-trick against Sunderland. I think that means danger for any team in the Premier League. They drew their first game against Tottenham. Very unlucky to draw that game. Much the better side. They've won the next 4, including their cup win as well. I think Everton win this game. I think they were 1.72 this morning or Bet365. I know they've been backed all day, and I think they'll get backed again. I think Middlesbrough side away from home don't score enough goals for me, and I think Everton are a side that are on the fire at the moment. One of my best bets this weekend at a very decent price, I think.
What's your bet? Sorry.
Everton.
I just think the Everton to win.
Everton to win. Would you not take it there? Everton -1 for a little bit more value. That is my official tip. I'm going to go strong for that one. Everton -1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an Evertonian, as you both know, and I really hope you're both right. I'm staying away from the game, but I think Koeman's just been great. He took Bartley off the other day. He's been speaking to him in training. Bartley's an amazing talent. I think he's bringing a lot of discipline to the club. It's a very well-run club. They're going to be at home. They're just after that 3-0 win. Lukaku hasn't scored for a long time, comes along with a hat-trick. It should be all over it, but I just don't like it just seems too good to be true, Nigel. The price, mate. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the trouble is Middlesbrough are very negative. So they're going to make... They're not... If a team takes the game to Everton and tries to play football against them, they've got the players to beat them, and match them up. The trouble is, I think Middlesbrough will be a very, very negative side away from home, so they will go there for the 0-0. So that could bring in the unders. That's my only my sort of concern about Natalie's bet, -1. I think this could possibly be 1-0 to Everton. I just think Everton will have enough quality. They will break them down. I think they will win it. It may take them late. But Middlesbrough are a tough nut to crack, but I think eventually they will get broken.
All right, playing -1 though, stake refunded if they win by just 1 goal.
Yeah, but we don't want the money refunded. We want winnings, don't we? No point in having money refunded.
Well, why do you split your bet? You can play the Everton win and Everton -1. How's about that?
No, just Everton to win for me. Get the money. Right. Have a few beers Saturday night.
All right,
there you are.
All right, Crystal Palace versus Stoke is the next match we're going to preview. Crystal Palace 2. Stoke come in as long as 4.3 there. All those odds with Pinnacle. I think this is a really tough match. This is a pass for me. I've got a few leans though. Obviously, Stoke are really struggling. 0 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses. Crystal Palace obviously picked up their first win of the season, playing Middlesbrough. I'm leaning towards Palace, but Stoke have played some tough matches, so I think it's a bad indication to say that Stoke have been playing badly because they've had some tough opponents, and so Stoke really could pull this one out of the bag. And I'm also leaning on both teams to score, but those are leans. I'm not playing any of them. And
it's a shame with me, Nat, as well. I haven't got any official play on that. I would actually take Stoke, as Nigel knows, is very well connected over there in England. A lot of problems at Palace, as Nigel's been telling us, and I reckon Stoke could go there and get a win, but am I willing to put like a lot of money on it? No, not really. I might put like, a 10 or 20 quid or something like that, but it's just a lean. not an official pick.
Yeah, or like a draw no bet. See, you're missing out on this draw no bet. I was
No.
I was analysing your predictions.
Not interested. I got my system. It works for me. That's it. What do you reckon, Nigel?
I think this is one to avoid. I really, really do. I've mentioned before about problems at Crystal Palace. I think there's problems at Stoke as well. Mark Hughes was sent to the stands after that dreadful performance against Tottenham. He lost the plot completely.
Yeah.
They met three times last season, these two sides, and every single game Palace won. 2 in the Premier League and 1 in the FA Cup. And Stoke have never beaten Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park in the Premier League. So the trends aren't looking good for a Stoke game. I think it's two managers with two egos. One I want to leave.
Can I change my mind?
No.
Can I not change my mind? I'm actually going Stoke to win. I want to go against all the figures. Stoke have got the ability, all jokes aside, to get it done. Nigel, you talked me into it. I'm taking Stoke to win.
Good luck to you.
And I'm getting, what am I getting on that?
4.3.
4.3, there you go.
They're due for a win, to be honest. If I was going to
say-
play, it would be now that I would play the Stoke win personally. They've had some tough competition. Stoke have not had an easy start to the new season.
Well, just one thing. I mean, if this was the first game of the Premier League season, what price would Stoke be to beat Crystal Palace? And the price they'd probably be would be 3.2.
Yeah.
Do they really warrant being a 4.3 chance? They're both being equally as bad. So there is a bit of value. There may be an overreaction to Crystal Palace, and Stoke probably player for player have got the better side. So I can see where JJ's coming from, but for me, it's just one to avoid.
Yeah,
Right.
one to avoid. Moving on, Southampton versus Swansea. Now, Nigel, this I think was your winning tip last week, which you played Swansea draw no bet. It is the Saints that are the favourites here, 1.7. Swansea come in as far as 5.7. Let's hear from you first, JJ.
I'm sorry, now I'm passing the game, darling. I know I'm
Are you playing any?
I am playing some
are you
games,
doing here?
Billy. I don't know what I'm doing today. I'm just not fired up with these games. It's very, very tricky weekend, Nigel, isn't it?
Yeah, the thing is about betting, you don't have, if you don't fancy something, you don't necessarily have to have a bet. We're trying to educate people what to do here. You know? If there's no angle for you, don't have a bet. Don't go looking for the winners. Let the winners find you, was a saying that my old man used to tell me many years ago.
Yeah.
I think this is a difficult match. Southampton are a side that are struggling for any form. I was at the game against Arsenal at the weekend. I thought they played okay, but they didn't offer much at all. Rumours I hear, and they're another side that aren't really playing for the manager, but they're doing well at the moment in the Europa League. Charlie Austin's playing for them tonight. He's got 2 goals, so he might be pushing for a starting lineup. And Swansea are a side that I like. My strategy with Swansea is always to get with them at home against the big teams and oppose them away against the poor sides. I think they're a side that raise the game, a very passionate fan base. And for that reason, I just think it's another very, very tricky game, and bets or suggestions should be kept to a minimum.
Yeah, my lean here is Swans in the draw, double chance, 2.28888 sports. But you're saying oppose. You're saying what? Take Saints.
Well, for me, I'm just looking at some of the trends here, and I'll just try to steer the punters in some direction. 7 of the last 8 games between these two sides, both teams have failed to score. We see the problems with both goal scorers they're having at the moment. So maybe both teams not to score could be a bet.
Or the under 2.5 goals as well. 4 out of 5 have gone under, haven't they? So that could be both teams to score no or under 2.5 goals.
And I like what Nigel was saying there, Nat, as well. This is not like a sports punditry show where we're having to have to pick the winners. We're putting our own money on it. And the point about being a long-term profitable gambler, like all three of us here, is knowing where to bet, because at the end of the day, it is money and it's figures. Men like, women like, figures don't. Not just going to make a bet for the sake of making a bet. This is a betting show, not a punditry show.
Absolutely. None of us get a job on a punditry show, but this is fantastic.
That's it. I would want to go on there. All they did, they got one bloke on there, I won't mention the name. He goes up against celebrity every week and he ends up losing. He can't even just pick the winner, let alone about trying to find value in prices. No interest.
So one thing that really annoys me about punditry shows, going back about betting shows as well, is when the pundit always turns around and says, "Oh, 5-1's a big price in a 2-runner race." Oh, it's a 3-runner race. It's a draw as well.
Yeah, I know.
Betting.
If they had their record up, the pundits, it'd be about minus 10,000%.
That's good for me last week.
All right, Hull versus Arsenal. Arsenal 1.6, Hull 6.1. Now, obviously, Arsenal lost to Monaco, which was actually a bet that I called over the weekend.
Yeah.
But they're favourites
Nige
in
can't
this
be
match.
happy.
And I know, I don't know, is 1.6 low for Arsenal?
I think you're getting a bit confused there, Natalie. It was actually Tottenham who got beat by Monaco. Arsenal drew with Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
right, that's
in, the
right,
in the last minute, beg your pardon, yeah.
It was, and then you did call Monaco to beat Tottenham, but
I called that one, yeah, but I also, do you know, I don't know what I called it was I did Arsenal draw no bet or Arsenal double chance.
They were very lucky, Nige, weren't they, Arsenal?
It's all on camera. No, I called that one as well.
They've been very lucky for the last 2 weeks, JJ. I mean, they were lucky in that game. Paris Saint-Germain should have been 2 or 3-0 up. I'm not convinced by the 2 new signings that Arsenal have brought in. I thought Arsenal were bang average against Southampton last week. Absolutely bang average. If Southampton had a bit more hunger and desire, they could have been 2 or 3-0 up. They've got big problems for me. They're a side. I'm going to make a bold statement here. I don't think Arsenal will make the Champions League net this season, and I'll be pretty much amazed if they make the top 6.
I wouldn't say that's too bold of a statement.
They've made the Champions League for the last 15 years, so it's quite a bold statement as far as where I can see. But they're so far behind the Man Uniteds, the Man Cities, and Chelsea's world. It's untrue, and I think they need to change there drastically. But saying that, they're playing a whole side that they haven't lost against since 1915. They played them 3 times last year in the FA Cup as well. They won, twice in the FA Cup. They haven't conceded a goal against them for donkey's years. They went up there, won 4-0. These are the kind of games that Arsenal go and do a job. It's when they play the big guns and they get bullied in the centre park. That's when they lose. I can see Arsenal going up there, putting a professional performance, doing the job done, winning the next 2 games. Everyone going, Wenger's back. When they play some tough opposition, get absolutely spanked.
I do have an official bet for this match, and that is Arsenal and the over 1.5 goals in the match and 1.9. Arsenal have yet to lose on the road. They've only conceded 1 goal. Might be something like a 2-1, but the idea is the Arsenal win combined with the total goals being over 1.5.
Well, you said Nigel didn't make a bold statement. I'm making a bold statement. Guess what I'm doing? I am taking Hull to win. I reckon they're right up against it. And I think they can get, I reckon Hull's going to win. And I'm getting what? Over 5.5. I love it.
I've got better odds than you. 6.1 Pinnacle.
Well, that's it. I get a bit lower, maybe my odds, being who I am. But I'll have to go there with Pinnacle. I think Hull can win. And you wouldn't be surprised that happened either, Nige, would you?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, but also I don't think it will happen. I just think that Arsenal just know how to win these kind of games. I'm going to go for Arsenal to win.
Victory dance?
I'm going to go Arsenal to win.
I think they'll be saved for another. That's what
at 2.7. So Arsenal to win to 2.7. I don't think there'll be many goals. I think Arsenal probably nick it 1-0, do the job, and come back down and get 3 points in the
bag.
bag.
I'm hoping they'll nick it 2-0. Then my bet's coming in.
Well, I'll be doing the victory dance on that one. That's the upset of the weekend. You heard it here first.
Okay. Manchester City versus Bournemouth. Man City huge favourites, 1.3. Bournemouth 12.7. Don't tell me to go for Bournemouth.
No, pass on that one.
Okay, phew. All with Pinnacle. Now, again, I'm still sticking with my guns. Manchester City, goals, combine those together. It's going to be a goal-heavy Man City win. That's what I'm predicting.
Well, I mean, that's what...
Captain Obvious.
Yeah, but I mean, Pep had a bit of a go at the City fans the other night, didn't he, Nigel?
Yeah, I mean, he did. I mean, the thing is with Man City though is that they play this kind of football. You score 2, we can score 6, and I think there's goals in this game. But I also think Bournemouth have got a chance of scoring because in every single Premier League game this season, Man City have conceded, and their weakest position is their defence. And I'm not convinced by Bravo, the goalkeeper. They got rid of Joe Hart. I'm not convinced by him. He had a nightmare against Manchester United.
Yeah.
And Bournemouth went there last year and scored. They lost 5-1, but they scored. And they also lost 4-0 at their own gaff. So 9 goals against 1. I think over 2.5 goals here, or I think I like Man City to win and both teams to score, which is 2.8. Mm-hmm. I think that's a great bet. I really like that bet. Bournemouth will go and take the game to Man City, and that spells disaster. But they won't sit back and try to get a 0-0 and frustrate like a Sunderland would do or something like that. They'll have a right go at them. And they've got goals in them. Jack Wilshere can provide balls. And I think Callum Wilson, as I spoke to you earlier in the week, Natalie, I think Callum Wilson's a real deal centre forward. I think he'll get a big move to a big club within 2 years. And I think he'll be an England international. He's a real good player. He got injured last season, scored 4 goals in the first 4 games, got injured. He scored again last week. He's back. And I can see Bournemouth scoring here. But I think the trouble is Man City will score 4 or 5. Both teams to score, Man City to win.
What are the odds for that, though?
2.8. I think it's a great bet.
2.8. Yeah, I'm taking Man City minus 1.5. I absolutely love that bet. If Bournemouth are going to score, maybe it's a 3-1 scoreline there. My bet comes in 1.91. Almost doubling your money there with Bet Victor. What do you think of that bet?
Yeah, good. I think you'd wish you all the luck in the world, Natalie.
What are you going for?
On that one passing.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're passing on a lot.
I know I'm not really fired up about this. Everything's very, very tricky. I don't want to give any of my money back to that bloody bookie.
Well, you did all right last week.
Exactly.
So you're back in profit. Okay, Leicester versus Burnley. Leicester 1.5, Burnley 7.3. Quite surprised to see Leicester priced at 1.5. However, they do come from a midweek Champions League fixture playing Club Bruges on the road. And Nigel, you called that one, didn't you? You said Leicester travel well. However, Leicester at home this time. Do you think that's a good price for Leicester against Burnley?
I actually do, you know.
Do you?
It's not a bet that I would probably have myself, but and I'm predicting bets that I'll have myself here. But at 1.55, I'll certainly put them in a weekend accumulator or something like that. These are the champions of England, and they've gone to they're going to be full of confidence after that win in Bruges. And you say they're travelling. I mean, how long is it going to take to get to Bruges to back to Leicester?
45 minutes?
Yeah, it's 50 minutes. It's harder to go to Newcastle.
Depends if your luggage gets delayed.
Yeah.
So it's not like a massive. You're not like you're in Eastern Europe or the other side of the continent. It's a 45-minute trip. So I think this is a great game for them. At home, they're okay. Burnley, brilliant at home. I mean, they beat Liverpool, as we know, but they haven't scored a goal away from home. They've lost both games, haven't even scored a goal. I like Leicester to win this game. I think 1.55 is a decent bet. I think Leicester to win to nil potentially is a good bet. Yeah. And I also think Jamie Vardy. I mean, Jamie Vardy's a streaky player. He went on an 11-game streak where he scored in every single game in the Premier League. He scored in the last 3. He's full of confidence, and I can see him really going to town against his Burnley side. And this is the Premier League champions against a team odds-on favourites to get relegated. Yeah. And you get 1.55. If it's Man United, Man City, Arsenal, there'd be 120, range from 116 to 122.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't like going below 1.90, as you know, but I'd actually have to take Leicester there. Bruges is a nice place as well. It's not like they're in Eastern Europe or, somewhere in a hostile environment, and I really think that's quite good value.
Mm-hmm. Do you think do you think it's going to be sort of like a 1 or a 2-0 win, or would you actually be tempted to play the over 2.5 goals? Because I was looking at the under in this match. That's 1.95.
Me, I'd personally more bet that both teams to score no rather than anything, because I just think you're betting on how many goals Leicester will score rather than Burnley. Burnley will not score in this game for me.
All right.
I think Leicester can easily handle their strikers. I think they can handle them. I think Wes Morgan's a quality player as well at the back. I think they can handle this side easily. And I think that win in the Champions League will be a massive boost for them and their fans. They just can't believe what's happened to them.
I know. Pretty good win.
So instead of playing the goals, I think you're really backing whether it's going to be 2-0 or 3-0 to Leicester. So for me, it'll be both teams to score no if I was going to play on the goal market.
All right, Tottenham versus Sunderland here, playing on Sunday. Tottenham, heavy favourites at White Hart Lane, 1.3, Sunderland 10.0. As I said earlier, I meant to say Tottenham, but it was Tottenham who suffered the blow there against Monaco. Tottenham were the favourites, and I'm wondering how they're going to sort of bounce back from this loss. But obviously they're playing Sunderland, who are relegation candidates at this point. What do you got?
Well, I'm on Sunderland to win. I think things are going to get worse and worse. I got no faith in this Tottenham team whatsoever. And I think that Sunderland can go there. I think Moyes is going to be on the bounce back. He's going to be really disappointed with what happened at Everton, with Everton the other night. And he wants to get a bit of a bite in the performance from his players. And he's good at bouncing back. And I really believe that they can get a result down there. I really do. Put my money where my mouth is. And what a brilliant price I'm getting. I love it.
Yeah, that's a very good price. Nigel?
Well, let me just say, if you don't know much about betting and you watch your show for the first time, if you put $20 on Sunderland to win this match at 10.0, it means you lose $20.
Oh, God, here we go.
They have got no chance.
They got no chance. I'm telling you now, Nigel, that's happening.
They are useless. They're the worst team in the Premier League by a mile, with the worst manager in the Premier League by a mile.
He's an ex-Evertonian. Be careful there, Nigel.
He should never have got the jobs he had. He's absolutely out of his depth in anything he should do. He should be managing in Scottish Division 1. He can't manage a big club, and he's up against Tottenham on the backfire of what happened on the weekend. You've got to look at the fixtures. Tottenham won this 4-1 last season. They won this 5-1 2 seasons before that. They always beat Sunderland. I know from a working man's price, look at the prices. Would I have a bet on it? No, I wouldn't. But one thing I'm telling you now, Sunderland are 100% the worst team in the Premier League. By a mile. They should have gone down
JJ's backing them to win this week.
Well, he won't be saying that next. He'll have 2 victory dances on the go next week. That one you're totally wrong on, mate. Moyes is a good manager. He will get the best of his players. This Tottenham team's very overrated. They can go there and they can get a result. Trust me.
I'm actually looking on the goals on this one. Last meeting went 4-1 at White Hart Lane. 4 out of their 5 meetings have gone over 2.5 goals. 1.72B win. What do you think of that bet, Nigel?
Yeah, they're all going to be Tottenham goals. So whatever you want to do, really. So yeah.
So what is it? It's sort of like better to play like a Tottenham total goal going over.
Well, no, joking apart. I mean, there's one big factor there. Jermaine Defoe is the only person who can score for Sunderland. Going back to his former club. I just think Sam Allardyce is a big blow because he got that side playing, he got them side hard to beat, and I think Moyes really is overrated. I've gone over the top a little bit about it, but I don't think he's a great manager. JJ probably remembers when he was a manager at Everton and he guided him side to all those derby wins over Liverpool, none, and guided them to 6th or 7th in the Premier League title. But I think he's a man whose ideas are gone in the Premier League.
Well, we talk about these victory dances. If this one does come through, I really want to see this victory dance, all right?
I might even do it in my Speedos.
But I think you're probably safe.
Oh, no, don't, please, no.
I might even do it in my Speedos and show off my Caribbean suntan.
No, I'm not. No.
All right,
it looks more like Sunderland suntan from where I'm sitting.
Watford versus Manchester United. Manchester United 1.6. Watford 5.8, or with Pinnacle. Obviously, Manchester United just lost their Europa League match, which is pretty disappointing.
And Watford won, didn't they?
Well, they did. Exactly. Which you bet on. Well done. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, that was a very good bet.
But I have to go against them, unfortunately, this week, and I will have to take Man United. I think 1.6 is, again, I don't like doing it, but it's just enough to get me in. I think that's a good price line. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, I mean, Watford went to West Ham, and I spoke to a couple of people at the game, and they said that teams are just raising their game when they go. They like to play it, like Monaco did at Wembley when Tottenham played at Wembley midweek. When they go to a new stadium, others underdogs just raise their game. This is at home; the fans will be up for it. But Man United are just, I know they lost to Man City. They don't really care about the Europa League. Don't look into that. I know they had a decent side out, but they've won the last 11 matches against Watford, both home and away. Some convincing wins as well, 4-1, 4-0, 3-0, 4-1s. And I know the stats, you like them or you don't like them, but I think Man United have to it's already now a must-win game for Man United because they're 3 points behind Man City. I know it sounds silly, but they've got to start winning. Man City are odds on to win the Premier League title. If Man United drop points here, then Man City are going to be, 1.6, 1.5 at the end of the week.
Yeah.
So they've got to win already. Already this season they've got to win. I think they will win.
Well, my bet for this match actually is both teams to score. Watford at home, and they have scored against some tough opponents there, Arsenal and Chelsea. I'm expecting both teams to score 1.95. William Hill, probably looking at a 2-1 Man United win. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, I hope you get it. I just think United have too much quality, and it is incredible. We're in September, and you're right, Nigel. We're talking about, a must-win game, and it's a must-win game. They've got to go there. They've got to get the job done, and I believe that Mourinho will get them fired up. The players will be fired up, and they'll do it. Yeah, and it will be 12. The stat man will love it.
4 of the last 5 years, both teams have scored in this fixture as well. 4 of the last 5 meetings, actually, between Man United and Watford. And in the last all them 5 games, over 2.5 goals has been a winner. So it is a game that...
He's
like a database of knowledge, Nigel, isn't he? Jeez, man.
He's the one sat in front of his computer. He's not really good at all,
hell, brother.
Well, he's the brains in this threesome here.
And
You're the banter.
Well, I'm not the banter. We're seeing the end of the year. I'm the best Premier League handicapper in the world, and my figure will speak for itself at the end of the year. There is a precise method behind the perceived madness, my friends.
Your figure, the only thing your figure speaks for itself is help.
Oh God.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Nigel. Have we done that?
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and following your tips. Let us know if you've got picks as well, and do the comment section below. Nigel, Jamie, James, guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care.
So we're giving you picks every day, and you're probably making your own as well. Be sure to participate in SBR's weekly Twitter Bankroll Challenge. Just post your picks on Twitter with @SBRSportsPicks and the hashtag BetSBR before 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday. We'll be betting your picks, and if the bankroll is positive at the end of the week, you could win the profits. Picks must be of events taking place that day and available in at least one of the major sportsbooks shown in our Best Sportsbooks page.